Thank you for joining us on the first event of the series titled In Conversation With. Oxford Business College is a fast-growing college. This series will be an opportunity, a stage, for us to introduce you to the past, present, and future of Oxford Business College. For this session, I would like to introduce founder of Adia PR and consultant to many thought leaders around the world. Please put your hands together for Alison Shadrack. And today's session will be in conversation with Dr. Padmesh Gupta.
Very warm welcome to you all. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And today we're here to have a conversation with Dr. Padmesh Gupta. And Padmesh, this is the first in the series of conversations. So what we would love to find out tonight is really a bit more about you. We know you as the Managing Director of Oxford Business College, as an educator, as a successful business entrepreneur. So we'd love to find out more about your journey and how we got to here today. So I'm sure there's a lot more that we can find out from you. So let's start at the beginning. Can you tell us something about your background, the early days?
Sure. Background means that where I come from. And actually, at Oxford Business College, we follow a quote of Mr. Khwaja, which says, it's not where you come from, it's where you choose to go. However, where I come from, my background is relevant to where I am. I come from a very unique city of India, Lucknow, which is the capital of the largest province of the country, Uttar Pradesh, which is bigger than United Kingdom. And why it's unique, I'll come later. My great-grandfather used to work for British government, my father's side. And my grandfather was completely opposite to my great-grandfather. He was a freedom fighter, fighting against the British government to give independence, and a businessman. And my father was a businessman, a politician, a scholar, an author, and the longest-serving mayor of Lucknow. So when, in my childhood, when I was born, I could see 3 different newspapers every morning coming to my doorsteps. One in English, the other in Urdu, and the third in Hindi. So English newspaper was for my great-grandmother, because she was influenced by her husband, my great-grandfather. And Urdu used to come for my grandmother. From the region she came, her studies were in Persian and Urdu. And Hindi was for the rest of the family. And Lucknow is why it's unique, because that was the capital of Mughal Empire. And traditionally and culturally, in Lucknow, there's a lot of togetherness from centuries between Muslim and Hindu. And my ancestral home, where I grew up, is all Muslim families around. So till the age of 8-9 years, not only me, people of my generation, maybe even today, they didn't know the difference, and I didn't know the difference between Eid, Holi, Diwali, and Christmas. And later stage we come to know that they belong to different religions. And so perhaps this diversity of this country, UK, attracted me, and that's why I'm here.
And so I understand that you left Lucknow to come to London, but you sort of went through Paris or France first, right? So what led you to go to France?
That's interesting. I went to France after my A-levels to do chemical engineering, specializing in aromatic chemicals. Because my family business was in tobacco, aromatic chemicals, perfumery and flavors. So I went to study in grass. And my father wanted me to get a specialization in aerosol products. In 1980s, there were no aerosol products in India, and hence he wanted me to start. So after grass, for 6 months I was in Argentina, Paris, to study aerosol products in the labs of Dr. Gupta. But after my studies, when I went back to India, what I found that the ingredients for aerosol products were not available in the country. And 1980s was a transitional period for India to get into the open market. So the only way to manufacture aerosol products in India was to find a collaborator, a foreign partnership with a foreign country. Then you could get a license, import license to import those ingredients. Then through my father's contact, I got internship in London in one of the companies, and my aim was to find a collaborator and partner. And then destiny was somewhere else. I didn't go back. My father was very clear and open. Whatever I want to do, he was, and whatever might interest me, so I stayed back.
And so, what was the transition then to the education sector?
That's interesting. When I was here in the 1980s, when I came to London, maybe that was a bit of nostalgia, or maybe that was my passion. Somewhere my passion developed into poetry, language and literature. And I got in connect with a kind of people in London who were either journalists, writers or professors. And my circle became with them. And I started developing my real passion in poetry, literature. I started moving around with them. And that led me to this academic system. When I met Stanley Hunter, the founder of Oxford Business College and the owner, and he wanted to sell in 2004, he also got attracted with me to creative writing. He was a creative writer himself, and he wanted to pursue his career for creative writing. In fact, after selling the business, he showed me documents and saying that I'm not trying to influence or impress you, but he showed me that he was getting better price for the college. But he thought that it's his baby and it will go better in my hands because of my interest and his interest that connect in creative writing. And by that, actually he gave me more responsibility. And his words at that time, I really got injected as if that it's not only a business, there's a lot of responsibility of running the college.
And so, what was your first thoughts? Where did you see the college going when you took it on? What struck you as what was working, perhaps what wasn't working? Where did you want to take the college at that point?
Well, that was, those days were very visionary for me. So it was like taking over the college and whatever infrastructure was there, whatever courses were run, I just inherited those. But when somebody new comes, they come with new vision, new ideas, and some of the new team. And then it was a pathway college, we got into higher education sector, and then it's a long journey where we are during this period.
Okay, great. So, what would you say is your key to success?
Success can have different parameters. They can be measured differently. If you want to see, or anyone wants to see the academic side of success, it could be market share, sales revenue, customer satisfaction, etc. But when it comes to Oxford Business College, which I'm connected, and I want to see the success, why measure success, that can also have different angles. Like Oxford Business College has now about 8,000 students. It's the first college which has taken Oxford-based education to different parts of the UK. It has got many elite campuses. Oxford Business College is one of the colleges from last almost 39 years. It still exists and has flourished during its journey. There was a period between 2011 and 2016 when there was a big change in the education system of the country. And during that change, when TFO visa point-based system was incorporated, there was a time when QA and Ofsted they all were coming to private education sector and college like us. That was a period when number of private providers closed down. But what we not only survived, we flourished. That can be seen as success. In recent pandemic, when so many English schools and business colleges in Oxford, they closed down, but we survived. Not only survived, I would say, we really flourished. So success have different parameters. It depends with what angle one needs to see those parameters. And when you say what could be the key to success, there could be a lot of different ways of looking at it. And what I believe I've been successful in running this college, and not from the beginning, was investing in people, building up a strong and qualitative team, and connecting to them. There was a time between that period when I'm saying the tough period for the UK education sector, especially for private providers, from 2012 to 16-17. I got ILA Diplomatic with me, who is an alumni and former student. She worked as an admissions manager at the college, and we used to have this code, CRB. And CRB didn't stand for cash, revenue, or bank balance. It stood for connection, relationship, and bonding. And connection was that you make a connection, you build relationship by recruiting a student, and then bonding so that student becomes your ambassador. So that CRB, I would say, still is in my blood and in the culture of the college, where we try to connect and build relationship and bond with people.
Yeah, I think, people look at successful businesses and they wonder, is it an overnight business success? And to some, that might appear that that's the case for Oxford Business College, whereas very far from it. You've obviously had those highs and lows. What do you think has been, you just mentioned about the pandemic, I know that was a particularly difficult time, but are there any other challenges that you're quite proud that you've got through them? Are there any other sort of the low points of the college?
See, lows and highs are part of life. And normally lows happen, in my view, are because of failure. And you only fail when you make certain mistakes. So what I've always seen, and sometimes I've celebrated failure, because that's a fee and penalty I have to pay for that failure because of those mistakes. And celebration because you learn a lesson after failing anything. And also failure can have 2 points. When you work very hard and you fail, definitely it hurts. And sometimes you don't work hard enough and you fail, so you don't fall. In my case, lows have not come or doesn't come because of failures, but because sometimes I get hurt. And I get hurt when I am honest towards what I am doing. My loyalties, my intentions are correct, but I am judged or questioned or being criticized by looking at only one side of the picture. But however, the courage I get is because of my belief in my business, belief in myself. And I never get scared or afraid of any failure because my intentions are correct, my loyalties towards the commitment are correct, my dreams are correct, and they are honest. And that gives me a lot of courage. However, when I feel low, I write a poetry. That gives me a lot of strength.
That's wonderful. I think we can all relate to that. What do you do in those times, those low moments? What do you turn to, or who do you turn to? So it's wonderful that you turn to the poetry. Can you share a little bit about that as well to those who may be in the audience who don't know about your poetry and your Hindi activism as well, and your activity in the literary world? Could you share a bit about that?
So as I mentioned, that I developed that during my early days in the UK, and my passion for poetry, literature, probably I inherited from my father because he was a writer and he was a scholar. And making those circuits, and I developed a dozen. And my success in my literature field and my poetry is very different to my professional success for which I am here today.
Okay, so I want wanted to ask you about private education providers. They get sometimes, a bad rap in the education sector. They're perceived as being sort of money-making companies, and perhaps not really for the welfare of the students, and so therefore not serious education providers. What do you have to say about that?
I think these are perceptions, and perceptions not necessarily are realities. All businesses are formed, in my view, to make money, and there's nothing wrong in making money. If you work harder and smarter, you make money. Sometimes more than others, sometimes less than others. But you have to see other side of the coin of private providers. The contribution they are making to the local economy, the contribution they are making to local businesses, contribution they are making towards employability, contribution they are making towards reaching out to community, contribution they are making to educate the society, to reach out to those underprivileged people who have either dreamt of education or didn't get an opportunity of education. And this is my personal opinion that in this country, or maybe other countries as well, today the graduate outcomes or education is measured by economics. That whether you got an employment or whether how much you are earning, otherwise that section of your education they think is not worth. Something I learned from my grandmother. I belong to a family where women were not the earning members of the family. Still, but not now. I mean, women are families, they work. But in back those years. And my grandmother still used to insist that every daughter in the family should be minimum graduate. And one of the selection criteria for daughter-in-laws to come in the family to be minimum graduate. And when she was asked the question why you insist on education when women will not be earning, she used to say that because she wanted women to be educated for the future generation because they were responsible for upbringing children. She used to say that women are the architects of future generation. So that education which my grandmother or my grandparents invested in women was not to earn money. It was for the future generation to be educated.
I love that. I think that's super important.
And similarly, I remember in my college years ago, we had this, we were going through this meeting on attendance policy. And for attendance policy, this was proposed that students, if they come 15-20 minutes late, they should not be allowed to attend classes. One of the lecturers tutors said that even if he's late, if we abandon them from the class, he'll go out and he'll just waste time somewhere here, he or she. So why not let the student stay in the class even for 15-20 minutes, half an hour, something will go in his head during that period, and that's a different thing that you can penalize the student, that you'll be marked as latecomer, or your attendance will not be recorded there, but still not abandon them from education. So with these thoughts and ideas, I think that in education, even students fail, even if they don't complete their studies, but they have studied for some period, some time, it's a contribution to them.
Absolutely. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about expansion and growth for Oxford Business College. What's the real purpose and ambition for the college?
See, when we talk about expansion and growth, in visual terms, it's you're having big campuses, student numbers, more number of staff, etc. But how I personally see the growth and expansion is reaching out at how many lives have we been able to transform and change. What contribution are we able to give to educate the society, people who are just going around the street and never thought of coming into education, how much we were able to provide them. How many entrepreneurs the college is able to produce. And when you produce entrepreneurs, it means they are the vital they play a vital role in job growth and innovation. So the ambition is producing more and more number of entrepreneurs through education business.
Absolutely. It's that wider impact, isn't it?
Yeah.
And can you tell us a bit more about the expansion that you've experienced this year? You've grown from Oxford, you're no longer just in Oxford, you're in other campuses. Could you tell us a bit more about where you've expanded to?
Yes, the purpose is that when we are based in Oxford, we are only catering people from Oxfordshire area. And when we got into university partnership in 2019, at that time we didn't know that we are going to get such a big response. And the students were traveling here from different parts of the country to study here, from Midlands, from London, from Southampton, and all these kind of cities. And then this concept and idea came that why can't we reach out to them and open campuses? So these were the ideas of reaching out to those people and choose those kind of areas, especially where there are no such institutions which can cater or service those people.
And so I know that you have some wonderful examples of some brilliant students that really stand out. Would you like to share some of those student stories with us?
I mean, there are plenty. There are plenty of those kind of stories. Just recently, one of our students, at the age of 74, she graduated from our college this year, Francesca Judith, and as a self-funded student. And when we're talking about perception, I just share something with you. I was with Steve Hartley this year, and in one of the meetings in London, and I was just telling that about the success of the college, and I mentioned about this lady who completed it. And as I was completing, he didn't let me finish that we have got a 74. He just laughed and said, "Oh, how is she going to repay her loan?" I said, "No. She's a self-funded student, and she studied because with her expanding her savings and earnings, and she studied because she never got this opportunity, and Oxford Business College was able to provide that opportunity." So we have many students like that. I feel honored and privileged when I see our alumni coming up and being successful and share their stories. I get high in these versions when I see NSS survey. This year we ranked 9th in National Student Survey for student satisfaction. I feel good about when we got the What Uni Student Choice Awards, where for 5 consecutive years we ranked in the top 6 positions, and those awards were based on student reviews only. And for 2 consecutive years we ranked number 1 in independent higher education category. Those are the things which are our success stories. I've got a couple of alumni students here. We have got Ayla Duplari and Arthur Babayev, who studied at the college for many years, and now they are running a successful online business school. And the success is when they call me and they say, "Dr. G, I'm inspired by you, and can you share this experience? I'm having this problem. Can you guide?" That is the success.
There's nothing better than customer
Exactly.
success, and in this case, student success, absolutely. And so you have further expansion plans then for more campuses in the coming
Yes, we want to
months,
reach out.
years?
We want to reach out to different areas, different audience, different group of people, different communities, and the only way is to reaching out to them is having more campuses.
Wonderful. Okay, so I also wanted to share with everyone, if you don't know already, that Oxford Business College is up for 3 prestigious UK national awards, business awards this year. So you're already a finalist, which is an amazing achievement, because I know those awards are very, very hard to reach that level. So we're looking forward to the actual final coming up in the next few months. What does that mean to you to be recognised? It's an amazing recognition and achievement. What does it mean to you to have that?
See, all awards are recognition. And recognitions are only worth when they inspire others, inspire other people, inspire the future generation. And also, if awards attract other people to get associated with us or work with us. One of the highest awards I got was in 2017. It was a national award by the President of India for my contribution to poetry and literature, and in the President House in Delhi. And just after that, I was felicitated by the Governor of Uttar Pradesh in Lucknow at the Governor House. And after that event, I came down, and there was a small girl of about 10, 12 years, and she came to me and she said that, "Can I have your picture?" So I said, "Why not? Come with me and let's have a photograph." He said, "No, I want your photograph." I said, "What will you do with my picture?" She said that I want to frame it and put it on my desk and to remind me that I want to become like you, I want to write like you. So that was the biggest award for me, and a pleasure than any other award. So any award which inspires others, that is the most meaningful award, I believe. And as far as Oxford Business College is concerned, as far as these nominations are concerned, I am the director of company. So obviously I will be nominated for these awards. It's like the captain of the team is the one who lifts the trophy. But every team has a guiding force behind it, a coach, who makes sure that the team plays well. And I have my coach, Mr. Sarwar Pagya. And that is the key to success when it comes to this level.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Padmesh Gupta. Okay, so I'm going to throw it open to the audience now. If you have any questions to Padmesh.
Padmesh, question from me, actually, a couple of questions from me. Very interesting conversation, by the way.
You have to share a mic so that it comes.
Yeah.
So it comes on the.
So very interesting conversation, Padmesh. Padmesh, when you are looking or recruiting a new member of staff, how do you ensure you recruit the right person for the right job? What are the criteria you actually look at when recruiting a new member of staff?
Yes, but it's very challenging. And what I try to do and our team, to spend some time with that person and try to spend some time instead of direct recruitment. And we are fortunate that we are able to get those kind of people because we are looking for those kind of people. Recently we got our new principal, Professor Fawad here, who has come as the executive principal of the college. Recently we got head of academics or dean of academics, Colin, from Aston Business School. They spent time before joining and committing, and we were very open to it. That have some meetings, have meetings with staff, spend some time before we both know and understand each other. So when this kind of exercise happens, I feel that we go in the right direction.
Yeah, but what are you actually looking for in that member of staff? What do you look for?
Like-mindedness,
Yes.
passion for the same cause,
Yes.
Thinking alike, have same frequency, have similar passion for education, that where we want to reach, their understanding about the college, about our ethos and values, my understanding with them, their ethos and values and the passion. These are some of the major things which are quite important. Just like a marriage, we always think for long-term relationship, which is very important.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much indeed. One last question. I don't want to hog the conversation. Looking into the future and looking at expansion, where do you see the college going in the future? Where would you like to see it go? Would you like to see it go internationally, into other countries in Europe and into the United States of America? or will you
Two ways.
consolidate?
Two ways. One is this, that at the moment we are reaching out to these communities in the UK, and internationally we have ambition of going to different parts of the world, taking out this Oxford-based education, reaching out to them, diversifying our programs into technology, to fintech, into healthcare, management systems. And on the other hand, we really have our ambition to get a university title and degree awarding powers. And the reason being that we have been in this business long enough to maintain and to deliver programs on that level.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Enlightening. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks.
Philip.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta. A lovely conversation so far. I think, keeping on that theme of the future, if you was to look 100 years from now, when maybe none of us are still working here, what would you hope to see OBC looking like in 100, 200, 300 years' time, and what would that mean to you?
Well, if I am there to see that, definitely. But meaning to me, definitely, that's even if I'm not there, that will be a very important factor, because that will be inspiring new colleges, new people, and new generation getting into education. Like when I came to Oxford, joined college, and all of us who are here at Oxford Business College, who we get inspired with, Oxford University, Cambridge University, all these old universities which have been here from hundred of years. So definitely when we reach that, and even now, I mean, almost completing 4 decades is an achievement, is a success, especially in private education sector. Dr. Fayaz is here. If you research, see how many private providers in higher education sector have crossed 40 years. If you ask me, I only know 2 in the country. And one of them has left Oxford and during pandemic, but we are still here.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, thank you for a wonderful conversation. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned your coach as Mr. Sir Khwaja, one of them. Who else do you look up to? Who else do you read about? Who else do you look for inspiration?
Well, in my professional journey, I mean, when you see, Salman, when you talk about inspirations, there are a lot of inspirations who you read books and you get inspired with people. But people who you work with, who come in your life, those inspirations are really meaningful to me. Stanley Hunter, the founder of this college, when he handed over, I just recently met him as well, and invited him for our future plans for celebrating 4 decades and having alumni celebrations in 2025, inviting alumni from around the world, whether staff or students. And he was so delighted and he was so excited to come. So he was my inspiration at that time. Similarly, in the current success, in the current role, Mr. Khwaja, I see him as my inspiration. When it comes to my language and literature and poetry, I have different inspirations. Mr. Anil Sharma Joshi, I would like to name. For the last 23 years, he has been my guiding force. And for my poetry, for my literature, he's the one who has written probably the longest preface of his life for my poetry collection. So, and at the same time, I get inspired every day. And in this conversation series, which we are going to hold on 15 December, we'll have a chair of BOG, Andrew George here in conversation. He will have stories which will inspire. And I'm looking forward to our colleagues, all of you, to slowly come on this platform on the hot seat and share your story. We all have our stories, and from when you listen to other people's stories and you work with them, there are 2 folds. One, you learn from their mistakes. The other, you inspire with their success. And we have to be open on both sides to learn and get inspired. So, and I'm very open to it. And that open-mindedness of mine with people is in different format as well. That I don't get judgmental. When anything comes up, I hear or listen, I want to know and go in the depth of it. That if you criticize me, I want to understand why are you criticizing me. So because that gives me chance for my personal improvement as well.
Hello,
Yes,
Dr. Ashtal. We discussed, I mean, you actually mentioned about your writings and your poetry. Would you mind sharing some verses with us of your poetry?
I can always, but unfortunately what I remember is in Hindi.
Okay, I think some of us may be able to understand. We can translate it for Samuel, yeah.
We leave that for some other day.
Okay.
Because we want to have this in future events and I don't want to lose my audience.
Hi, Dr. G. Very insightful conversation. Obviously, Oxford Business College is growing, it's transitioning. I'm just thinking, in your experience of managing the organisation, what you think the 3 most influential behaviours the organisation might need to demonstrate in this transitional period in order to be, as you define, successful?
As a growth or as a perception how private providers are being perceived, and that is the biggest challenge in this country where private providers are facing, I would say, that they are not understood for their contribution. So if you want answer in that perspective or this perspective?
I think more internal, so as a body of staff, what behaviours would you like to see us embody in order to be successful in this transitional phase? What would you see as those behavioural non-negotiables, those things that are going to drive the organisation?
It's the best is that if everyone thinks about the organisation, about the company, and this is which I've learned from my very early days. But a company I work for, an organization, is like a mother. If organization is happy, we all will be happy. If organization is making money, we all will be happy. If organization is getting reputation, I will be getting reputation. If I'm with my children, if I'm with a family and friends, I say I work for Oxford Business College, which has got a good reputation, I'll be respected there. And that respect can only come if I'm able to earn that respect as an employee of the company or college for my company or college. When I was a kid, you remind me, when I was a kid, my father, we used to come home from school and just leave like a shirt on the bed. So my father used to teach me that respect your clothes and put them properly because they give you respect. If you don't respect them, you will not be respected. So what he meant to say, if you put your shirt properly, if you iron them and you wear them, you look good. So I have to respect shirt to gain respect, to earn respect. So this is one of the things I learned in my childhood, and that I think applies to any organization, even our organization, even for students. It's a respect. I remember one of my teachers in my school. You know, when you're a kid and you're in college or school, you are worse to your school. You like to just put some scribble somewhere or break something, and as a kid you feel that you have achieved something. But if one of my teachers used to say that this is a school, you study, and if you respect this school, you will get respect outside, and not now, forever in your life. So these kind of things, if we have in our mind for our organization as well, it's definitely going to, both are going to prosper together. Thank you. Yes, Vishal. No, it's for an audience on the Facebook, so they can also listen what Vishal has to ask.
Right. So my question to you is that from being a chemical engineer to today where you are, was there any watershed moment when you think, that was the moment when I thought, this is where I want to be. This is what my next future was going to be. You're not depending on anything that you have done in the past. It was all unknown. And how did you came over that fear of unknown and got into this education sector altogether?
Yeah, this is what I said. I mean, whole plan, my education plan and what I'm going to do, get into perfumery, cosmetics, aerosol. Everybody in the family knew that, like, I'm going for 2.5 years, I'm going to come back and establish something like, but that didn't happen. So this is all, I would say, destiny. And my destiny was towards academics, towards Oxford Business College, to work with lovely people like you, so I'm here. In my personal thing, whatever I have planned has not happened. So now I just believe in karma. Just let's do. And if you work hard, don't worry about the results. They will follow, and they have followed.
Thank you. Sorry, so I'm just going to do one of the last questions, I believe. My question is actually for Alison. I've had the opportunity to work with you for a few times and meet you, and we've discussed so many different PR opportunities, and how the college can get its name out there. What do you think Oxford Business College has to offer, in terms of for its audience and for its potential audience as well?
Okay, thank you for that question. It's a good one. So that's what we're working on at the moment, is really to see how... I talked earlier about overnight business success, and this is what sometimes people see when you suddenly come into the media or the press, and people think, well, I hadn't heard of them before, they just started up, how did they get so big so quickly? But as I said, it's not. It's been a number of years that you've had this journey, and so I think for us now we're trying to work with Oxford Business College to really position them as a serious player in the education sector. It's helping a number of disadvantaged students or students who don't fit the mold for the general education pathway. Who might go straight from A-levels to university. It encompasses education for working mums, for mature students, for we've seen families, mothers and sister daughters, etc. We see whole families coming into class. It's for people who want to work and study. There's so much opportunity for the Oxford Business College to expand across the country internationally as well. So our job really is to help position, to help educate the audience, other people who are not aware of the college and the amazing work that's going on, about the community work. It's so much more than just the education. So it's really our job, as I said, is to raise awareness of the college, of the work that's going on, of the people involved, not just Padmesh, but the faculty, the staff, the community members, etc., the alumni, the success stories. That's so important, because that's what people listen to stories. It's stories like you've gone on, graduated, set up your own business, or gone into employment, and those stories are so important to inspire others. And so these things are important. The stories, the awards, of course the awards are important again for that profile raising, but also recognition for yourself, Padmesh, but also for all the staff. Awards are a wonderful pat on the back for the staff, for the students, but also attract new talent, new people coming in, because success breeds success, right? So people want to work and be associated with a successful organisation that has a wonderful reputation. So I hope that answers your question.
Alison, could I ask a question, actually, both of yourself and Padman? As a former head teacher, I became very aware that staff development and team building were vitally important to consolidate, the staff that you had. How important do you think that staff development and team building are, and what techniques have both yourself and Dr Gupta used in order to get the best out of your staff?
I think I answered it before, my CRB formula, connection, relationship and bonding. Sometimes people who you're working with, colleagues, they may not be that efficient in the role they are doing. But if they are loyal to the organization and they're connected, they love. And we are a college. I don't mind them coming as a trainee and learning. And there are a lot of people who have come from different backgrounds and they have worked in different departments and they have flourished there. So that the like-mindedness and same page, that helps.
Dr. Padmesh Gupta, with your kind permission, can I add something to this one?
Sure.
Yes. We have Oxco, Oxford Staff Center of Professional Excellence, and we are developing our staff. So far we have Advanced HE Fellowship at Principal level, Senior Fellowship level, Fellowship and Associate Fellow. In addition to that, a couple of staff members are achieving qualifications at master level. We are also giving opportunity to our staff members to achieve professional qualifications. So it's a new initiative. So, but I am working as an acting head of Oxco. So we are very much, value our staff. So that's why we have developed Oxford Staff Center of Professional Excellence. So professional excellence means our staff needs to meet maximum professional standards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vaz. See, today's this program, this event is limited with time, and whatever I have said, there are a lot of aspects we can have discussions and debates in much longer way as the staff development is concerned, student care is concerned, well-being is concerned. So this and academic side, academic delivery is concerned. So this series of conversation is for that purpose, and today is just a startup to that to test the bullet points on the success, on the perception, and on the journey. There's one point I want to take this opportunity and say that recently between private providers and other providers, a comparison has started that one institution is making more money and there's a surplus of profits, and other institution is not making. And so I don't know, there are experts above us who would be analyzing, but my thought process would be that just looking at past 2-3 years account, if somebody makes a judgment, it is not a fair judgment, because different business models have different structures, different way of operating. It could be efficiency, inefficiency, it could be different structures, it could be different way of operations. It could be different circumstances, different situations. I just want to give a very small example, very hypothetical, with Alison, you and myself. Hypothetical in a way that suppose we come from same background, same age, working for same company, same kind of households, same number of family members, and same earnings on monthly basis. In 2 years' time, Alison is able to reserve deposits to buy a house, and in the same period of time, I am in debt. What would be the straight away perception if you just want to make a perception? But one needs to go and dig and see why. I could be living independently and you could be living with your parents' house. So that makes a lot of difference. So every business has different model. So I would say that coming to these kind of judgments, you need first financial experts, auditors to analyze and research different models and come to the conclusion. And Oxford Business College operates differently. If a very small example, I would say that we work 7 days a week. Our classes are 6 days a week, and the Friday is more of admin work. We offer even evening classes. So what happens in one campus are overheads compared to other institute who might be running only for 4 days or 5 days, and their overheads, they're paying for overheads on weekends and evenings. However, we are utilizing it. So obviously we will have surplus than the other organization. So there could be a lot of parameters, lot of points in analyzing these things.
Great, thank you so much. I'm going to pass the mic now to Mr. Arsal.
Hi, sorry, it's not actually a question, it's just obviously we have some audience who is watching us live on Facebook. So there were two interesting comments, which are one is from our recent graduate and one is from our existing student president. So I would like to mention those as well, obviously, because of in this conversation. So one is from Sandra, who's our current student president in Nottingham. So grateful to OBC for opening my mind to believe that I can do more and grow stronger. Thank you for unlocking my possibilities and helping me to achieve every milestone I reach. So that's one from Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
And the one we have from Ili Constantine, I think he's one of our recent graduates from Oxford. So he did mention that I'm grateful to OBC for opening my mind, eyes, and helping me to be graduate and to better understand my role in the job that I currently have. So this is, these are obviously feedback, direct live feedback from the students itself. So I thought they are worth mentioning.
Thank you, Lal. Thank you, Lal.
Conversation.
That's quite motivating. Yes, Salman.
Sorry, I have one last question. So we do have a student with us today, and she did ask me, we do talk about the opportunities that we give to, say, staff and also potential students, but can you talk just a bit, just briefly, about our existing students and what opportunities they have with Oxford Business College? Once they graduate, how do we help them kind of grow and find what they should be looking for?
So that is like career opportunities, which Oxford Business College is connecting to different businesses, local sectors, and having career fairs at different campuses for them, because this is this will be almost our first year, and next year we'll be having most of the graduates. And obviously we have a kind of open door policies where they can connect to our staff members, and also our university partners, they have those departments of career opportunities. And I think a course, business course, that anyways teaches us the CV writing and startup businesses. We are in connect with some of the banks now who are keen to come and speak to our students on startup business, financial benefits, government benefits. So we all are working, and I think this series is one of the start of those kind of thoughts and ideas. And our role has been in awareness. It's not about only making awareness about education and educating society. We have been quite active in our CSR projects just for the awareness. We have got a school in Pakistan, Mr. Asim Riaz looks after that project, where in a deprived area of Pakistan where students do not have so many facilities, Oxford Business College is constantly supporting that college to run. We have been supporting so many events, festival events. This year we have supported London Chamber of Commerce for SME awards to help support small businesses in London. So the idea of these sponsorships and supporting is not only reaching out to communities, not only to recruit students, is to create awareness about education. And we are committed to all our ethos and values to educate society. That's what I would say. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alison. Would you like to say something, or we just hand it over back to Salman?
A little bit about Oxford, yes.
Yeah. So, thank you for Dr. Fairs for handing me the mic on my first day. Building on what you said, obviously, we've just started this week on the strategy for a business incubator here, and obviously that will have 3 strands to benefit the students, benefit local businesses, and also some community outreach and impact as well. And that's a brand new project that's just started, and we hope to have the strategy done in the next 3 months.
Yes, thank you, Mick, for highlighting that. And we are working in different departments, different innovative ideas, how we can support current students, how we can support their future. And this is what Oxford Business College stands for. And we are almost completing 4 decades of our inception. And we have got a lot of stories and got a lot of innovations in education field. Thank you, Alison. Thank you, everyone, for coming and supporting this event. It's the first one in conversation, this series of conversation, and hope to see you all on 15th of December, and in future seeing you on this hot seat for inspiring me and inspiring us with your stories. Thank you so much.
I was just going to say the same. Thank you so much for coming this evening. Thank you, Padmesh, for your time. It has been very enlightening. And thank you for all your wonderful questions.
Thank you. Thank you to our... Hello. Okay. So, thank you to everyone for being here today, and I want to thank obviously our guests here today, Alison Shadrack, thank you so much, and Dr. Padmesh Gupta, who we all know so well, and now we know even better. Our next In Conversation With will be on the 15th of December. It will be with the chair of our Board of Governors, Professor Andrew George, and our also board member, Mr. Steve Hartley, who is right here. And it will be a very interesting event. Please be here. Follow us on live on Facebook, and we will see you soon. Thank you.